I feel as if I start off all these Hulk video essays with the same introduction. What can I say? I love the Hulk. He's my third favorite superhero of all time. I've already discussed Ang Lee's Hulk film and was always going to discuss this film eventually. My plan was to wait for the right time to discuss this film, but then I realized that no time is the right time. I must discuss what I think is the most underrated MCU film of all time, The Incredible Hulk. But before we get into this video essay, I just want to let you guys know this isn't going to be a full-on analysis of every scene of the movie, but more of an analysis of elements that stand out in the film. The plot. After surviving a deadly gamma radiation accident, scientist Bruce Banner travels the world in search for a cure to his inner force of rage that turns him into a massive green monster known as the Hulk. Though he is close, Banner must watch out because the malevolent General Ross and his team are searching for him and want to use his condition for military weaponry. Running out of time and options, Banner turns to his old flame Betty Ross for help. Meanwhile, a new threat rises as a power-hungry soldier turns into a deadlier and more terrifying beast that can even match the Hulk's powers. This synopsis was provided by IMDb and by Blazer346, so thank you very much for the plot synopsis. Edward Norton. As someone who's grown up with the MCU, I have enjoyed Mark Ruffalo's performance as Bruce Banner. However, I am a firm believer that Edward Norton's Bruce Banner has been far more compelling, in my opinion. Mark Ruffalo's Banner often had inconsistency in his character arc, going from someone who can control the Hulk to someone who lacks control of the Hulk, to then gaining control and then lacking control, and then to merging the two with overall no relevance to the MCU.
I put the brains and the brawn together, and now look at me. Best of both worlds. Did you get that?
Norton's Banner is struggling with the dual identity of the Hulk throughout the entire movie, constantly searching for a cure to rid himself of the beast that's within that he cannot control. The beast who, in self-defense, hurts people and hurt the one that he loves. There's an anxiety to the character that hasn't been felt since this film, and it's true to Bruce Banner in every way from the comic books.
You don't understand, something really bad is about to happen here.
Admittedly, Norton's performance is very much like his other movies, but still more in line with what I would expect a man repressing his emotions to act like. Also, the physicality of Bruce Banner is more in line with an unassuming man. Ruffalo looks like a man who is suppressing a monster within himself, while Norton looks as if you would never guess that he would probably be the Hulk, and you would probably never guess that a creature would explode from this dude. Norton is my Bruce Banner, and I love his interpretation along with the character arc he goes through, going from wanting to terminate the Hulk as if it was a disease to wanting to use him for helping people and fully accepting it. Betty Ross. Liv Tyler plays as Betty Ross in this film and is a major improvement from Ang Lee's 2003 film. She actually plays an integral part in advancing the plot of the film and helping Bruce Banner cure himself, as well as providing an element that isn't very present throughout the MCU, and that element is love. The MCU is normally known for its larger-than-life storytelling, its epic revenge tales along with amazing action spectacle. However, love isn't very present in the MCU, and it's often vital in making us care for our characters, especially couples. All the punching isn't relevant unless you care about the characters. I never cared for Black Widow and Bruce's relationship because the story didn't. Bruce and Betty's relationship is center stage and drives the story forward in this movie, and it's something that is truly unique. Even when transformed, you can tell that how much she just cares for him, and vice versa. It's a very excellent depiction of these two characters' romance tale, and it's played pretty well by Tyler. Hulk. Ang Lee's Hulk was much more of a character study in repressing trauma and the damaged interior of Bruce Banner exploding into an unstoppable behemoth. This film is Bruce trying to rid himself of this monster before inflicting trauma upon others or worse. This film explores the duality between the two in a different way compared to its prior counterpart. This Hulk feels more like an aggressive monster. He's much more aggressive and willing to kill in self-defense, and sporting a design that's probably one of my favorite Hulk designs of all time. He's also not so tall to the point of being disconnected from humanity, which was a problem that I had with Ang Lee's Hulk being 15 feet. Here he's within the 8 to 9 foot range. Also, the action sequences with this Hulk are so incredibly choreographed and probably top 10 in action of the MCU. His first transformation sequence is intimidating and displays the horror of the character. The second transformation is the full unveiling of the design as well as the feats that he's capable of. This is also in the other MCU films really do not display the Hulk's ability to increase his strength, whereas in this movie they definitely display the ability of Hulk increasing his strength with the angrier he gets. It's mostly displayed in how his eyes glow in the movie. Bottom line, this is still the best Hulk in the MCU, and this film makes me want Savage Hulk back. Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination. Blonsky in this film is the exact opposite of Bruce Banner. Where Bruce Banner doesn't want the power that he's been given and rejects it, Emil accepts the small taste he's received and wants all the power. He's looking for the fight and wants the power. He's essentially the Hulk if he didn't have Bruce's conscience. He starts off getting demolished by Bruce, to gaining the power for himself and wanting to just destroy everything in a rage with his unstoppable power. Everything that Bruce fears the Hulk could be is the Abomination in this film. The Abomination is the perfect opposition for the Hulk in the metaphorical and physical sense because this fight's awesome. Hulk versus Abomination. This is still, to this day, one of my favorite MCU battles of all time. This takes the character's strengths and weaknesses and puts them at the forefront. We have the Hulk, who has practically been unstoppable the whole film, facing an opponent who is seemingly stronger and bigger. Standing at 11 feet tall, I really like this Abomination design, but it's not my favorite. Though the MCU destroyed this character in She-Hulk, I still prefer that design to this one. However, this design isn't bad at all. The film goes all out in the third act with its action. Car boxing gloves, wall bouncing, helicopter explosions, Hulk claps, Hulk smashes. There is everything Hulk related that you would want to see in an action scene between these two titans. However, the battle changes the tide when Hulk's anger rises to the point where Abomination can no longer keep up, almost killing him. Many people hate the decision that Betty Ross asked the Hulk to spare Abomination, but I personally never minded it. The whole concept is that she doesn't want the Hulk to become a killer, and it's a very sweet sentiment. I think the problem lies in where this would have worked better if the Hulk wasn't killing so many people earlier in the film, and they even acknowledge it, which feels kind of contradictory if you really think about it. Underrated. Wait, before I jump into this category, yes, I'm going to acknowledge the leader. I'm not going to acknowledge him too much because I like the origin story that they did with him. However, they didn't go anywhere with it in the MCU. So I kind of feel like this element in the movie just kind of feels majorly wasted. And I can't wait to see what they do with him, at least in Captain America 4, or going forward if they do like a World War Hulk storyline. This movie is extremely underrated and receives an unnecessary amount of hate from the Marvel fan base. I think it has to do with how much of a disconnection it has from the rest of the MCU, the recasting of Edward Norton with Mark Ruffalo, the tone that treats the superhero as more of a negative thing. Most superhero films treat being a superhero as an amazing thing, whereas our lead protagonist in this film battles that ideology. It's a simpler plot with great action sequences, not an overabundance of humor and no over-reliance on continuity. The Incredible Hulk felt like an answer to the complaint of modern-day superheroes in 2008. It has a very different flavor to it, and I really do enjoy how different it feels from the rest of the MCU. It doesn't feel like your typical MCU film. I thoroughly enjoy the film, and it's the interpretation of the Hulk that I most enjoy in live action. It makes me realize just how much Marvel has been mistreating one of my favorite superheroes and how much respect was given prior. That's my video essay on why I think the Hulk 2008 is extremely underrated. I did want to talk about Ross, but I'm going to save that talking point for Captain America 4. Also, rest in peace to the actor William Hurt. He did an amazing job as Thunderbolt Ross, and he still continues to be my favorite interpretation of the character. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share for more. And comment below more Hulk content that you guys would like to see, because I love the Hulk, and it seems like you guys also love the Hulk as well.